Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It is 9 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I was not planning on making this video. I just got back off my bike ride and I've been thinking about this all morning. Actually, I've been thinking about what I'm going to talk about for a long time, a month now. All right, Beau in the fifth column. Actually, today I was running behind on his videos. I watched his video. What needs to stop in American politics now, where he talked about this person that wrote him, calling Beau a coward and telling him to say these people's names, these military people and stuff that happened in Afghanistan. And let me tell you this, okay? Beau handled it. He knocked it out of the park. That's not why I'm making this video at all. Beau does not need a little penny station channel like mine to help him out. But I've been thinking about this, and Beau there were so many different directions that he could have tackled this ignorant comment. And he took a great angle to hit back with. There's been something that's been on my mind. And, it was so obvious I didn't want to talk. I didn't see any point in talking about it, but now I just want to bring it up. All right, let's talk about Pompeo sitting down with the group there, the T group. Let's talk about that, okay? Whatever happened to, we will not negotiate with T, remember that rule, the hard, fast rule, rule number one of America. We will not negotiate with, whatever happened to that? Because Trump was more than proud of sitting down with all sorts of those people. North Korea, Putin, this group here, having Pompeo sit with him. Okay, so Pompeo's sitting in the room with those five guys. It sure looked like they were cutting a deal, like they were partners. All right, that right there, Americans, I don't think we pay much attention to stuff that goes on overseas, but I'm going to guarantee you anything that every single Afghan civilian, every single Afghan citizen saw that happening. Okay, what do you think the government of Afghanistan thought to themselves when they saw Pompeo sitting down and giving legitimacy, street cred, giving all this to that group? We're screwed. That's what they thought. Game's over. They were sold out right there. The Afghan citizens, the Afghan government, it was over. Then all of a sudden, now it's all Biden's fault because everything fell apart so quick. This reminds me of Bush is making a total mess of our banking system and the housing crisis in 2008. Things were a catastrophe, and that's what Obama got handed. And he caught a bunch of nonsense for that, and he ended up turning that around. And to some extent, that's what this reminds me of. All right, so Trump talks about how, he's a big tough guy, and that T group, they would have never thought about crossing him because he would have hit their homes, blah, blah, blah. He's a big tough guy. This has been obvious to me since Pompeo sat down with him. As soon as Trump and Pompeo sat down with those guys, they had everything they needed. They had credibility. They didn't need anything else. They didn't want to change that deal. There's no reason to change that deal. That gave them credibility. That made them, remember, how conservatives and Republicans always want to talk about how America's the greatest country in the world. America's the most powerful country in the world. Okay, well, there's America, the most greatest, powerful country in the world, sitting down with that group of people. What does that tell the rest of the world? And it wasn't Biden that did that. That was Trump. That was Pompeo. Remember that? What does that tell the Afghan government? Did Trump and Pompeo sit down with the Afghan government? I don't know, because nobody saw that. All they saw was Pompeo cutting deals, having a good old time. A good time was had by all. Pompeo sitting down with the T group there. Trump gave that group that right there, just acknowledging them. Like I said, whatever happens, that we don't negotiate with these people. And nobody brings it up. All of a sudden, it's Biden's fault. and this is what Biden got handed. The deal was done. The deal was cut. The confidence in America was gone when Biden took over. It was already out the window when Biden took office. This deal was cut. The T group already knew. They knew where they stood. They were seen sitting down with the most powerful, greatest country in the world and cutting a deal with them. That's all they needed. They didn't want to screw anything up. You know what? Trump and that group reminded me of the good cop, bad cop. They're both on the same side. Trump's trying to play the good cop. He's like, I'm going to protect you from these guys over here. They're out of control, but I got a grip on them. I can keep them under control. And all the while they're in cahoots. They're cutting their deals, and it's the American citizens, the people of Afghanistan, that are getting screwed over in the long run. And like I said, this letter to Beau, the fifth column, that Biden made, that it made all this 19 years worth for nothing. It took away, all the credibility or whatever that idiot wrote to Beau, the fifth column. And he doesn't acknowledge Pompeo and Trump cutting the deal with those people months before Biden ever even took office. It was over. It was over. As soon as Pompeo sat down with that group. And the rest of the world knew it. Except for Americans in their very short, non-existent attention spans, apparently. Who somehow, the Republicans now somehow think it all happened under Biden. This is why I haven't talked about it, because it's just so ridiculous, this rewriting of history. It's just... So, that's what I wanted to say. Whatever happened to, we don't negotiate with the T word. Because it sure looked like Pompeo was cutting some deals with them in that room that day, with those 5 guys with the turbans on, and Pompeo having a good old time. Remember that? Yeah, I wouldn't blame Biden that much for that. You guys have a good Saturday.